This Hangout on air is live. It's Alicia Stringer here, and we have our Superwoman introducing Ed today. And I'm so excited to have Ed because he's really impacted me throughout some of my internet marketing career and some of the things that we've both been going through. And we're going to talk about a lot of the mindset shifts that goes through on having a top millionaire mindset when you're reaching certain goals and stuff in your business. And so I'm excited to hear what he has to say on what stuff has shifted him in his business. And I'll introduce some of our panel over here. Valerie has an awesome hat on today.
Gotta be able to laugh at yourself. You just gotta.
So introduce yourself, Valerie.
Okay. All right, I'm introducing myself. Okay. Valerie Jampolsky, for those of you that don't know me yet. And yes, I'm wearing the cat in the hat. My kids love the cat in the hat. I'm a single mom with twins, and one of the most powerful things that I have learned, I used to be an entertainment attorney, and I decided I wanted to be at home with my kids. So I do what I do in order to be able to be at home with my kids and be able to make that same kind of an income or better. Income disclaimer, anything that we talk about today, FYI, there's a link below, because we don't know if you don't take action on what we are recommending for you today, we can't guarantee anything. We can guarantee that if you don't do anything, but I choose not to be average. I don't fit in a box, as you can see. And I'm so excited that Ed is here with us today, because I'm thrilled to hear what your biggest shift, your biggest mindset shift that resulted in your success and how you got there. Let's pass over to Keisha.
Hello, everyone. Keisha Parker here, and I am having some technical difficulty, which happens in the internet marketing world. But this just goes to show you that you don't have to be technologically savvy to really have success online. I am a network marketer in the health and wellness industry, and I also have the pleasure of networking with this lovely group of people that you're viewing right now, and to have success online and market my business. So guys, listen closely to what our guest is going to share with you so that you can have the shift that you need in your life to just have whatever your heart's desire.
That's right. Thank you, Keisha. It's pretty amazing to see how we're all in different parts. I'm in Middle Tennessee, and Valerie's over there in California, and Keisha, you're up in the near New York, right? Am I trying to remember?
Right. I'm in Philadelphia, originally from New York.
Yeah, like she's somewhere up north, Philadelphia, and so is Ed is up north, and it's really neat to see we're everywhere. And Greta, when she pops back on, she had to restart her computer. She's actually in Canada, so we've got a lot of northern people and backgrounds that maybe you can relate to, from where people are coming from to how they make that mindset shift. So we're excited to have you on, Ed, and there's one reason why I have like a question was because of your family. I remember you were saying one time that your wife was going through a deep health issues with cancer, and it was just really affected you and your business, I think, and how you're able to take care of someone who goes through lots of health ailments. And I know a lot of us on the panel have experienced several things like that. So I'm looking forward to hearing your story and getting the shifts that we can all impact from. Thank you, Ed, for coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here. You know, it's always exciting to share your story, and you know, for instance, every one of us here has a story. I have my story, and you should always share your story. I'll just say that right up front, because everybody's life changes from your story, and they also identify with you from your story. But that's, you know, for me, I mean, like Alicia said, we've gone through, actually the last couple years, actually right after this company that we're all in, after an income disclaimer, I mean, I've made a lot of money here, but after after Empower started, we, our family, right about the same time it started, my wife got, she was diagnosed with cancer, and everything's great now, but actually keeping your focus on the things, and that's actually probably my biggest takeaway is your mindset, where you're focused, your vision, and the things that are important to you. If you're, and I don't want to get religious on you, but there's a Bible phrase about if your mind's tossed to and fro and back and forth, then, well, I'll just put it in my own words. Basically, don't have your mind going here and there. Whatever's important to you, that's what you got to focus on constantly. And most people lose their focus. And I mean, that's probably going to be my biggest, what I talk about at all today is where your mind is. I mean, like for us, and you want me to go ahead and share a little bit of my story there, Alicia?
Oh, yes, please. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I can go way back. I mean, my story actually starts when I was a kid. I mean, because and probably all your stories do too, because I remember when I was, I remember about ninth grade, I remember my dad taking me out. I was the only child at the time. But we would go out and we would drive around to where the big houses were, and back then a house was, a big house back then for us was like 3,000 square foot, 3,500 square foot house. And we'd drive around and look at it. But my point there, and we'd try to plot how we could end up there. And this is my dad instilled that in me when I was young. And I don't know, you might have a different, you might not have been instilled by adults. But the point is even way back then, kids, young people, they have this grand vision of what things are going to be like and what they want when they're young. And we all dream like children. And then somehow in life, as we go through life, we end up doing the patterns usually that our parents raised us in. And we lose sight of that vision. And, we're talking a little bit about mindset today. So when you lose that focus, I mean, my dad, when I was growing up, he was working, good God, he was working, sometimes he would sleep at his job so he could get up early, okay? And he just worked down the road. But he would work 60, 70 hours a week, and then on the weekends we'd go drive around and plot. But somewhere in there, while I was, growing up, and I ended up, it was funny, when I think I was about, I gotta remember, let me think here. I don't remember exactly what age I was. I was about 34, 35, about 10, 11 years ago. And I was actually realized all of a sudden that I had forgotten all the dreams that me and my dad were driving around trying to figure this stuff out, figuring out what those people did for a living, and forgot the vision and didn't realize it until I realized that I was working 60 hours a week like my dad. I was working my butt off and doing the same exact things because I had lost sight of the vision, of the dream, of, like we all dream when we're young, I mean, when we're real young, we dream that we're superheroes or whatever. But as we get older, we fall into these patterns. And if you're not focused on where you're going, well, there's a saying, if you aim at nothing, you're sure to hit it. Well, that's where we end up a lot of times in life. And, I didn't realize that I was aiming at nothing until I was like 35 years old, which kind of sucks because I feel like I wasted 20 or 30 years. But the point is bringing yourself back into that mindset. And as Alicia said, after that, I got into this industry. I made a lot of money, and I still make a lot of money. But it's only because I got my eye back on the prize, and that there was something else. And then, like she said, when Empower started, about 4 or 5 months later, maybe 6 months, not even 6 months. My wife was diagnosed with cancer, and we went through all that. And as we were going through it, my focus shifted. Money wasn't as important because my family was more important. And we went through all that. And while we were going through it, you still have your vision that you want, to be there for your family. You want to have everything go right, and you want everything the best for them. But we were going back and forth to doctors. So the cool thing about Empower and the company you're looking at, and like I said, I mean, I've made over, I don't know, probably over $250,000 here. Income disclaimer. everyone's results vary because everyone does different things. You know, even twins, you could have two twins and their lives are not identical, and it's because each one does something a little bit different. Same thing here. Alicia and I can do what seems like exactly the same thing and have totally different results because we're not doing the exact same path. The paths go different ways. But if you follow certain footsteps, you'll go down the same path. So you could make a lot of money here if you put forth the effort, if you get your mindset straight, you get your head in the game and you're focused on where you're going. You got to focus always on the destination. If another expression, I don't want to monopolize the whole thing here, but there's an expression also, if you just, it's basically like this: the path will reveal itself. So if you're walking down, say you're looking at the mountaintop where you want to be, and you're focused there, and you're walking, you might not be able to see the path up the mountain. You might not be able to, even like when you look out over the ocean, you can't see over a certain part of the horizon. Same thing here. You can't always see the path, but if you've got your eye on the prize, the path will reveal itself. So mindset, focus. We came through, the cool thing is, like, while I lost my focus on my other business that I had, Empower kept us going and actually looked back and made a crap load of money while we were dealing with my family's issues. And now everything's great with the family. Now it's time to really, I want to make 10 times as much money now because, we're coming out of that. But everybody goes through different trials in their life. And, everybody on here, everybody in the audience, you've all gone through a different trial. And whatever that trial is, you can go through it, but you always got to keep your eye where you're going, or else you'll end up lost, wandering around without aim, and without aim, you'll hit nothing. But, yeah, so I love the company that we're in. And, I love these guys on this call. You guys are so motivated to even do a hangout here, and these are what leaders do.
Yes, I'm excited to have you. That's so powerful, because I'm wondering do you have any kind of routines or kind of things that you always did to help you keep your eye on the prize or help you keep your vision focused? Because you had so much to go through to keep the business up, and while you're going back and forth with doctor visits, or and there's so much that can bring you down. Is there something that maybe you always had to do, or a routine or something that kept you in the game, or kept you going on keeping your eye on the prize?
Yeah, every day I try to do, one thing you want to make sure that you don't do, and this is very easy to do, is get sidetracked on everything. In other words, I actually did a short video the other day about Facebook. Facebook, basic, and I put a picture of, Facebook, and I had underneath it, you remember the little Pac-Man guy? And I had the Pac-Man guy underneath the Facebook symbol with the a clock underneath it. And my little lesson there was, and then I did a quick video on it, but the thing about it is staying out of the news feed. The news feed if you go to your Facebook, you can look at your own channel. You can go do whatever business you're doing, but if you need to stay out of the news feed, because they purposely put things in there. Everything you ever click on, you've shown an interest in it. So in Facebook, so in your news feed, they put things that are interesting in there, which the reason they do that is to keep you in Facebook longer. And you sit here and you end up clicking here, and you don't do anything. So my point there is, in whatever you do, you have to have a focus of certain tasks. Like, you need to market every day, and you need to do something for your mindset every day, and hopefully you're learning something every day. But market is the key, and connect with your list. In other words, send an email out. So, and the reason I brought up the Facebook thing is because people tend to get up and check their email, or check their Facebook. Or they switch that. If they're in business, those are the two things they check, is their Facebook and their email. Well, I don't know about you, but if I don't go through my email fast, I can spend an hour in there and just kill an hour deleting, and here's a cool link because they're sending stuff that's interesting to you, and you click it and you're off sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
And you can spend hours there. You can spend hours. So eliminate distractions and have a certain time every day where you come in and you do stuff. Hopefully it's the first thing you do in the day rather than the last thing. That way you've got some stuff out of the way that is achieving your goal. Like I said, marketing, always connecting to your list. And I would say you should always put a piece of content out there, whether it's an article. If you're not putting an article or content out there every 4 or 5 times a week, or even a short video, a high video. Alicia's awesome on video. I mean, she's always doing videos. And everybody here, each person has a different quality. But if you put content out there, people get to know you, and they start to see you, and you start building a reputation. And but that's just one of the things you should be doing is content, marketing, and connecting with your list. Those are the things I try to do that almost every day, unless I'm on a trip, and then even then you'll catch me typing a message to my list on my cell phone, and popping it in my AWeber and shooting it out, or doing a quick video and posting it. And I will give you a tip too if you're doing YouTube and stuff. I've learned to hate YouTube, but it's extremely powerful. But YouTube, I would also, if you're going to market using YouTube, I would probably use different channels. Create a different channel for different things, because YouTube can at a whim change. They can delete your account. In fact, I would have my own internet property, like a blog, like that's our main core product here, is a blog. $25, you can have unlimited blogs. You should have a hub where people can find you, and that is your hub, your own internet property. I mean, even there's all kinds of them out there that you can use, like WordPress. You can use Squidoo pages. You can use Facebook, but that's not your internet property. You should have your own internet property, like we have a blog. And I've always hosted. I started hosting my videos there, but video is a great way to communicate. And I make my answers long. If you want to tell me to shut up too, you can. But
No, awesome.
I try to always teach something, which is good in your content. Even when I talk, I try to. Even you see, I say stuff, but then I share what to do, and it's just if you teach people, then they identify with you and reveal who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to know, because we also we have within us, we have the mindset materials. What are your favorite Inner Circle audios? What are the ones that you have found the most inspiring for you?
I'll be honest, with the Inner Circle and the actually all of Empower stuff. I love it. I love everybody. I actually posted that in the chat the other day. Some people were having a disagreement, and I said, you know what? I love everybody. So I love almost everything that feeds my brain. I love learning stuff, but I'll be honest. Probably my favorite stuff is actually from Dave Wood. The mindset. He helps you so many times, even just in his everyday stuff. He always, so many times, just stops and gets you to look at where you're going, look at your focus, look what you want to do. Which, to me, if you're not focused, again, I could say it 100 times, if you aim at nothing, you're going to hit it. I told a story one time on a conference call when I used to always go deer hunting with my dad, and we'd go bow hunting, and we'd do it from a tree stand. It's a tree stand. You climb up a tree, you figure out where the deer walk all the time, where the traffic's going. So think about that. You want to get in front of traffic with whatever you're doing too. But you climb up a tree and you put this little platform up there, and you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait, and then the deer comes by. So I remember one time I took and I drew back my bow, and I'm sitting here like this. I'm aimed at this deer, and it's right in the path where it's supposed to go, and I was just totally focused, and I shot, and on the way there was this little twig, just a tiny twig, and my arrow hit it and split the twig, and the twig fell. But just that slight, and we're talking, I don't even know how fast an arrow goes, but fast enough to kill a deer, right? So it's going pretty fast. But that little twig changed my trajectory of my arrow, and all of a sudden I hear like little crashes through the trees because my arrow just went totally in a different direction because I lost the focus. And I didn't lose it. I was focused, but I let something distract me. That little twig distracted my arrow off in an entirely different direction. So when I listen to the different inner circle stuff, I like David Wood's stuff. Just because, and if you don't have the 15K formula, the first video there, the first lesson in that is Dave Wood honing your focus. And that's the kind of stuff I like, is because you always got to just sit back and you got to think where you're going and where you're going, where you're going to end up, and he focuses on that stuff. So to me that's important because I don't want my trajectory to end up off in no man's land. I want to go where I want to go and not let anything distract me. So mindset stuff, with Dave, he just helps me focus. So that's probably any one of Dave's is pretty good for me. And I like Tony Rush too, because he seems to do that too. He does it in a more down-to-earth way, and I like that too. So
the country way.
Yeah, and Justin, what's that?
The country way.
Yeah, and yeah, he's down to earth, and then I like Justin Varengia too. I like any of those three guys. I mean, like I said, I love everybody, but those three. Justin he gets you focused because of his energy and his passion. Tony's got the down to earth. This is just he's just that's the way it is. But those three, if you take any lesson from any of those three, I could probably listen to those all day, every day.
Yeah. So when do you usually listen? I'm just curious because everybody has a different thing. I wake up and it's the first thing that I listen to reprogram my brain. When do you usually listen? I
actually try to do my stuff in the morning. Like for instance, I try to do that first because it impacts your entire day. But like for instance, I have a German Shepherd, big beautiful black German Shepherd, and so I like to take him out for a walk, and if it's 30 minutes, sometimes I'll take him for an hour and a half walk, and I will I don't know where my cell phone is at. Oh, it's in my pocket. Hold on. I will take my cell phone and I have audios in here, or I'll just pop it into one of the inner circle, and I will listen while I'm doing something. No downtime. If you're working and you have a commute, listen to it then. Yeah. But yeah, I try to listen in the daytime, and then I try to learn during the day. I spend so much money on learning stuff, but that's probably why I make money too, because I'm always trying to learn something new. Yeah. But I like video and audio. So, think about it. If you're walking along, like you're walking your dog, or you're working out on your treadmill, or driving to work, you can always pop an audio in and listen to it. What's that?
Yeah. I said, or making breakfast for the kids.
Yeah, you can, and I'll even do that too. They're pretty good earphones. I don't even know what they're called. We got them for my son. They're DNA something, but they're really good. So the point is I could take one in one ear, and then I can hear my kids in the other ear. Or if I need to block them out, I fill both ears. But and anytime I'm doing anything, I'm kind of. In some ways, I'm a little bit odd. I don't want to. I live in a really yuppie neighborhood. My neighbors are doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, and they don't cut their own grass. They don't shovel their own snow. So I'm kind of weird in a sense that I like to. Some things I'm like, I want to do that. So like I cut my own grass, and it takes probably over an hour to cut my grass. Boom, I pop in audio. Anything that I don't really have to think about what I'm doing. Driving, you drive. But you have to, you have to be observant and watch, but you don't have to sit there and. It's not like you're reading everything. So you can pop an audio in while you're driving, while you're doing any work that's kind of, if you're doing dishes, if you're just cleaning up, whatever it is. It's kind of, I don't want to say mindless, but it is a mindless activity. You're not doing anything, but it has to be done. Yeah. So fill your mind with something while you're occupying your body.
Yeah. Perfect. Did you have any questions, Greta?
I just want to say hi. I'm so glad I made it on.
Very clear too.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm so excited because I'm looking at my brand new iPhone 5S. I'm so excited I got one. And I'm transitioning over from I had a Samsung, like an old Samsung, so it's like it's all brand new for me, and I wasn't ever able to get on these Hangouts from my phone, and now I am, so it's great because I still get, for some reason, my computer's not up, and that's the thing. I mean, I could have totally let that derail me and just get, totally flustered and pissed off that I couldn't get on here. And instead, it was just like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I got to make this happen. What do I got to do? Okay, I got to get this set up, this set up. Now, boom, I'm on. And it's so great to be on here and to hear from you, Ed, and hear your stories and listen and learn from you and to also to get that confirmation that yes, I am, we're doing this, we're all doing this together. I totally agree, like you got to listen to that audio every single day and feed your brain. There's so many hours in the day, like Ed has just told us, like where you could be cutting the lawn, you could be doing the dishes, doing the laundry, cooking food for your kids. And what I love about that too is that, I mean, my daughter's here with me now, and she's listening to all of this. I mean, how powerful is that? I never had that when I was a kid growing up, listening to all this amazing, incredible mindset stuff where, from people who are creating incredible results. It's so exciting. We're not just speaking these words into ourselves and into each other and into our children, we're showing them. And yeah, I had a question pop up earlier as far as what you think, Ed, what you think is more important, or if you think it's just as important to really hone in on who your authentic self is and sharing that. I know for some people when they first get started in this business, you get overwhelmed with the technical side of things and you think, oh, it's all about the technical stuff. How can I do this? How can I share value if I don't quite know this technical stuff yet, if I can't talk about it and train people yet with the technical side of things? I just want you to kind of share as well, like when you first got started and how you were able to share value, not necessarily from teaching people things, or if you think that that's just as important, being able to just share yourself and share your story and just be you and like create posts from your story, what you're going through in your life and things like that. Like, do you feel like that connection is just as important as sharing training and things like that?
Oh, absolutely. And yes. And in fact, and this kind of goes back to the old school marketing. When I first got into this stuff, and I don't even know if there was an internet back then. No, I'm sure there was. But it seems like so long ago. When I first got started, the people that I got involved with had no idea of anything about internet marketing. In fact, the program that I was in at the time, I think just about 3 or 4 years ago, they actually started allowing their program to even use the internet for marketing. But when I started, we called it Smile and Dial, and you would pick up the phone. And I was terrified when I started. Believe it or not, I was like scared to death that, what if they hang up on me? And I took a old style phone and I would smile and dial. But the first time I had to call, I got this list of names to call people, and I was terrified to pick. I actually stared at my phone for about 15 minutes before I made my first call, and then I made my call, and it took like about 5 or 10 times, 5 or 10 dials, and get one that was a disconnect, and one that hung up on me, and one that cussed, and I hung up on them. But I realized even then, after about 5 or 10 dials, I went, what in the heck's the worst that these people could do to me? They could hang up the phone or cuss at me. That's about it. They're not going to drive from another state to come hunt me down and say, I didn't like your phone call. So realize put that into today's, what we're doing today. Realize that whatever you do, what's the worst that's going to happen? If you're not, if you just get on here, like she said, and be yourself, nobody's going to come hunt you down. Nobody's going to, and if somebody makes fun of you, so what? They're words. I mean, but here's what you'll find, being your authentic self, like she said, is everyone identifies with you everyone identifies with your story in a different way, but there's always someone that will identify with your story. So like Alicia mentioned, our family's gone through the cancer, which is I'll cuss. It's a bitch. But I mean, because it's probably one of the worst horrific things that you can have to go through, and chemo and radiation and all that crap. Telling that story, someone will identify with me. Yeah. Someone. I mean, there's 360 million people in the U.S. There's 6 or 7 billion people on the planet. Someone will identify with what you went through. Me telling that story just now about being afraid to dial the phone, being afraid to talk to people that I didn't know about making money. I mean, someone will identify with that. Me telling a story. Oh, and this is one thing. Be your authentic self, like she said. Just be you. But always tell your story. Tell a story. I mean, always tell a story. I mean, think of the stories I already told. I already told a story about deer hunting. Someone will identify with that. And it could be male or female. Doesn't matter. I mean, some women hunt, men hunt. I mean, everybody, kids hunt. So someone will identify with that. Whenever you tell a story and it's coming from your heart and from who you are and it's your story, people will listen. And when they listen, they'll join you. They'll get to know, like, and trust. Here, it's like this, and I like to tell this too. When you think about it, you go to the big screen, you go watch a movie, and you see, I'm trying not to date myself, Al Pacino, or you see any of these movie stars out there. You go to a movie, you weren't with them in person, but you watch, and if you're an Al Pacino fan or whoever, I'm trying to think of, that's the first person that popped into my mind, but whoever that movie star is, think how much you identify with them, that if you saw them on the street, you'd go, oh, Al Pacino, sign my autograph, and you act like you know them, you like them, and you trust them. It's the same thing here. I mean, when you put out videos, being your authentic self, you become your own little movie star on your little movie screen, and people, they get involved and wrapped up in that. I've had people, I've probably, I would say probably I've had just deleted from YouTube entirely. I've probably had in my life 400 or 500 videos that they've taken down, not including what I still have up. But I've had people call me and go, Ed, I've watched all your videos, and they'll be in a channel that has 200 videos, and they'll go, I've watched all you've watched all of them? Yeah, you're like my brother. But they identify with you, and you become your own little movie star by being an authentic person and telling your story. By telling your story, that's it. Whatever your story is, and you'll realize that everybody won't like it, everybody won't love it, but you're not looking for everybody. You're looking for the niche that identifies with you. I mean, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Exactly. Thank you.
It's true, and yeah, and I gotta say, guys, I know you guys are thinking, I'm gonna be the elephant in the room. I'm a vegan.
Oh no. I would eat the elephant in the room.
And I'm sitting here listening to the story for everybody that knows you guys, for folks that know me, because we talk about being authentic. But here's the thing: I'm listening to your story, and part of me is going, "Oh yes, I'm so glad he got distracted." But I got the message, the point about the distraction, because it's like that one little, and whatever it is that you're focusing on. So anybody that's watching this that's not a hunter, okay, if you're from my list, honestly, be open to hearing them. Because, and that's just it, is you never know, even somebody like me, I mean, I really appreciate everything that you're talking about, and even from that story, I will remember it for sure. That's the other thing. I will remember it for sure because of what it, all the stuff it triggers inside of me and all that stuff. But the focus point, the idea of not letting something distract your focus, and I'm sitting there going, that was me this morning on Facebook. I let that happen to me, because it can happen. We're not perfect beings. So
stay out of that news feed.
yeah, I honestly did not get up this morning and go straight to what I needed to do. I had some stuff last night, and I woke up, and I'm just straight up being authentic here. I didn't go straight to my audios, which I normally do, and because I didn't do that, off I went. Because I didn't go straight to those audios, off I went, and I went into like all this other stuff, and would have probably been a heck of a lot more productive. I got stuff done, but it would have been a heck of a lot more productive had I done that. But again, that story is sticking with me.
Well, and here, I'll even give a vegan story about focus. I tell this story too, and I always tell a different story. Sometimes I tell the same, but like for instance, we went to a get together with a bunch of our family for I forget which holiday it was, but we were in my at the time my grandma's backyard, and there was my daughter. I'm kind of, believe it or not, I'm pretty athletic, but when me and my daughter was playing volleyball, so I'm pretty good at, if I want to hit a volleyball, like serve it where I want it to go, I can probably hit an area about that big. I'm pretty good at it. So we were just hitting the ball back and forth, practicing her serve, and I would, hit it right to her, right, in this part of her body every time, and she would hit it back. And we just did that for, 5, 10, 15 minutes. And then it was funny because there was a divot in the grass. And I went like this. I threw the ball up, and I went to hit it. And as I did, she stepped in the divot. And she looked down. She kind of, how you kind of stumble a little bit. She didn't stumble, but she stepped in that divot, and she looked down at her feet to see where she was going. Well, my natural, as I'm serving, I see her because what do you do when you're gonna hit a ball or throw a ball? You look where you're gonna hit it. So you go like this, you get ready, and then you look wherever you're gonna hit it. So I was doing that, and I saw her look at her feet. So I looked down at her feet, and as I hit the ball, it went straight at her feet because it went where I was looking. So again, about focus, whatever you're looking at. If you look at all the crap that's going on around you, and when I say crap, it doesn't just mean, I got to wash clothes. It could be the crap, I got to go to chemo.
Yeah.
Whatever the crap is, it could be terrible crap. If you're looking at that and focused on that, that's where your mind is going to shift to, and you're going to stay. So wherever you look, that's where you're going. That's why I said you look at the mountaintop. If you keep looking at the mountaintop and you're heading in that direction, you're going to get there. But it's about, again, so see what I'm saying? I'm illustrating that two totally different stories, a volleyball and a deer, will identify to two different people.
Yeah.
And each one it will have a different impact on. One will go, oh, don't shoot it. And the other one, and the other one will go, oh, my daughter plays volleyball too. So it just that, folks. And one other thing I wanted to touch on that Greta said, and if I don't lose my train of thought here, get this right. Oh shoot! Another second. I'll come back to it. I looked. I was trying to put the name to the face, and I went.
Yeah, it's okay. We can all relate to that. What just happened right now with Ed and that thought coming in and passing right through. Oh my goodness. How many times has that happened to me in a day?
And in fact, here, you said in your thing, how do you give value? And that's why also these inner circles are so powerful. In fact, if you click that link below this video, there's a link to go to the Inner Circle Mastermind, which I use it. But how do you give value, and how do you have something to offer? You said, how does someone feel like they have anything to say? Well, number one, your story always identifies with people. But if you're learning a little bit of something every day, and that's the beauty of the Inner Circle Masterminds, is they not only give you mindset training, but they'll give you tips, and they'll teach you things just like we're talking right now. I'm sure you've gotten some little tip out of my rambling, but if you've taken a note on anything in an Inner Circle Mastermind, simply go do a video, put it in an article, or go do a video and then take your words from the video and put it in an article. You've just got 2 pieces of content from listening to one Inner Circle Mastermind. So anything you learn, no matter how small. I mean, I've done videos. In fact, I just had a YouTube account shut down with between 150 and 200 videos, and because there are people out there that, and I don't want to get on the negative, but there's people out there that they go after anybody that's making money, and they want to flag your videos until you get shut down. Believe it or not, one of the videos that I got flagged like 10 times had no link on it. It had no link whatsoever in the description, in the body, because I actually purposely did it. And get this is what the video was about: how to set up a YouTube account.
Wow.
So it was it was ludicrous, but think about it. How simple is it to set up a YouTube account? And here I am teaching it.
Yeah.
Anybody in this call or this webinar could set up a YouTube account, or get their own Gmail account. Anybody can do that. If you can do it, you can teach it.
Yeah.
And somebody out there, like we said, 6-7 billion people on the planet, 300 some million people in the U.S., somebody needs to know how to set up a YouTube account. Somebody needs to know how to set up a Gmail account. Somebody doesn't even know what an autoresponder is. And if you don't know what an autoresponder is, go to Google, search what is an autoresponder, and then you'll learn it. Read a couple articles, and watch a video, and go, oh, that's an autoresponder, and go do a video about it. I mean, that's an easy way to put out great content that somebody needs. Just depends on who they are.
Yeah, I love that. I one of the things that I wanted to share with you watching here right now, I just want you to realize that and kind of think back to this whole hangout and hearing all of Ed's stories and hearing from all these wonderful, amazing women that you see on this hangout with us, that we're just like you. We're just like you. That's what I love about this. We're average people just like you, creating extraordinary results, and you can do this too. That's what's so great. That's what I love. That's the importance of sharing these stories and sharing this value with you right now, is so that you can realize that you can actually believe that you can do this too. That's why we're here, why we get together, why we share these stories, why, Ed is willing to share his personal stories about his family and his wife going through cancer and all these different things and all these different stories, and sharing stories about his daughter, because he's just like you. I'm just like you. Keisha's just like you. Valerie, Alicia, like we're all here in this world. We're all born with the same abilities and to dream and to create the life that we desire. And it's just I love hopping on these hangouts. You guys know that. I think I say it every week because I just get so jazzed up and excited to be here to listen in again and to hear these stories. Because it's just, we're all on this journey together, and you may as well just make it amazing each and every day. And there's always light. There's always light in everything. No matter how dark your tunnel seems, there's always light in there somewhere. You just have to, again, like Ed was saying, focus on that light. Just keep focusing on that light, focusing on those good things, because there's good, there's greatness, there's beauty in everything. No matter, I believe just through my own life and the things and the real down times and the traumatic times and the things that I've gone through, the hardest things that I've been through in my life, the greatest and most beautiful things have come out of those things. And it's just, they're there to remind us how strong and powerful we truly are. So whatever you may be going through right now, you may be thinking, oh, but I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Just remember there is light. And you know, if you're still struggling with that belief, just sit down. Sometimes I do this too. Sit down and write down. Start with 3 things that you're grateful for that you have right now in your life. That you just 3 things, and I guarantee you, you'll have a shift. It will create a shift within you that you need to just keep moving forward, one step at a time. Just probably like your mom has told you, or your dad, or whoever is close to you in your life. Just take 1 step. Just keep going. Just take 1 step at a time, and incredible things will happen.
Well, just like that, you know, we have a lot of, you guys are powerful ladies here. You think about that, you'll have a following similar to who you are. That's why we do our own stories, because you'll develop that following. But so if there's a lot of ladies out here, think about it. And I'm a dad too, so I can do the same thing. But you're a parent. Those are lessons that you can give people too. I mean, how you know, everything from, you know, you can teach attraction marketing through parenting. Everything. You can teach anything through the stuff that, here's a prime example. Think about your kids. When, I don't know, in my neighborhood, they still have the ice cream man, you know, and they come down with the little ice cream truck coming down the street with the little do-do-do-do-do-do-do music. And your kids, what do? They come running, they go, ice cream man, can I have $1? You know, and they come running, but then turn it around and go, but what about when you say, put your dishes in the sink, hey, I need you to come here and do X chore, okay? What do? Then they run the other way. So you can teach out of that, attraction marketing, give something that you want. You see, everything, even as a parent, you might think you don't know anything, relate it to what you're learning and teach it. I mean, some people think, I'm a mom and I don't know anything. Bull crap. You know more than most people, because you've managed kids. You're managing life. You're managing an entire house. I mean, my wife is phenomenal in everything that she does, but there's always something in everything that you do that does that. And like, you know, I always, even here, something I always told my kids when they get upset about something. And I do this little thing where if you take your thumb up and you have this beautiful scenery in front of you, now, see if I can do this, beautiful scenery in front of you, you can sit there and look at this beautiful scenery, or you can have a little scratch on your thumb and you can sit here and go like this, like, oh my God, and you can sit there and all you see is your thumb. You know, again, it goes to focus. Are you going to, what was, I don't remember who was talking about the weather earlier. Who was that? Was that Valerie that was talking about the weather?
I think that was before the Hangout.
Oh, it was, yeah, right before the Hangout. We were talking about the weather, and you know, and I said it's raining here, and somebody said it was dreary there, and Alicia, of course, she's always got the sunshine. But I think, and you said, you know, what did you say? You said, Greta, you said, yeah, but that's beautiful too. The rain and the dreary, it brings about the flowers and the rainbow that Alicia talked about. So even, you know,
makes the colors brighter.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and so it's always there. It's just, where are you going to look at the scratch on your thumb or the beauty around you? And always find the good. Always look for the positive, because there's always something positive, no matter how bad it looks. And that rain makes the flowers grow.
Yeah.
Can I just ask?
I would like to chime in 1 second, guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please, Keisha.
Sure. Greta, you've mentioned something amazing, and you know, we all have gone through some difficult trials, and sometimes when it is difficult to see the good in everything, it's a great thing to be connected to some amazing, awesome people. And I can say, and I'm pretty sure all of you who are viewing this my family just came in, guys, all the children, my grandchildren, but I'm sure that you can see from what you have witnessed that we are an amazing group of people that will help you see the light. We just got through a boot camp with some superwomen and some men, because we know they were apart, where we talked about the things that Ed mentioned with time management and eating the frog first, doing those things and prioritizing the things that are most important. We also talked about also, it was something else Ed mentioned with our story and relating and summonsing the courage. How he had to summons up the courage to make that first phone call. And it took me a couple weeks to actually summons up the courage to make a video where I shared that I needed to step away from some things so that I can stay focused on what my goal is. And when you are associated with people that can help you do that, that can help you stay focused, and that can help you believe and believe in you and encourage you and inspire you and dream, that's something totally amazing. And you feel the light, you see the light, and it just makes it so much easier. So I just love this whole culture. I love this group of people. Ed, you shared so much value today, and you gave so much insight, and so much of what you said I did relate to, and I could just think about things that I have been going through in this last week with trying to manage my time better and summoning up the courage to do the things that I need to stay focused. So, guys, I want to, Greta, you mentioned something else, too. You mentioned about having a dark time, and especially with what just happened with Robin Williams. We're going to have an amazing call coming up in just a few minutes, and I think Valerie wants to share a little bit more about that. But you want to get connected with the link and the information below, because we're going to be going over some powerful, powerful stuff on that call as well. But thank you so much, Ed.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm going to be on that call. I've had some very personal things. Just quickly here, a little teaser on it. I mean, from my background, I had such depression in my life. I actually made a suicide attempt as a child. So, and I'm talking a little bit about that, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things in relation to that. But so there is below. We're starting in a few minutes, but you have time. I want for everybody, for Ed to know, because this community, that Superwoman Bootcamp that Keisha just talked about, when you click that link below and get connected with us, all right, get access to the inner circle in there, because that'll be important for the boot camp. That actually qualifies you for boot camp. That qualifies you for the boot camp, and that is for anybody that is connected. If you're on Ed's team and you're watching from him and you click below, make sure women or men, if you have women in your business and to get what you're doing, you know, if you're watching this with Ed, you know, connect with him and find out how you can access, because when you're connected to what it is that we do, you have access to that support with the Superwomen that can really help you. And I reached into our group because I had a crisis recently. It wasn't suicide, but it was something very powerful that I reached into the community and found support. We're going to be talking a lot about that in the call coming up, and the details for that are below on the page. But like I said, connect with us. Connect with Ed. Find out how you can. If you click below, just access our, the inner circle audios. But then also afterwards, make sure you connect with us so that we can plug you into the extra resources that you get with that, which is the Superwomen Bootcamp that we have going on, that you can access. And men, you can watch it too. But we do have a private Facebook group for the women as well, so it's helpful and it's open to everyone. So I just want to make sure you all know that. So Alicia, if you want to close this out, and I'm gonna.
I don't know how much time we have here. I know we got to go. I just want to ask all of you one question. Did you have this type of mindset? Did you have the strength to overcome the obstacles that you were faced with in your life, like as you are able to now? Did you have that before you started, tapping into this, before you had access to these inner circles that we're talking about, before you got started, with your own personal development and things like that? Like, is there... For you, has there actually been a huge shift for you that way? Or, were you always, or were you dark?
I always read my Bible. I always was focused. And ever since I've been on internet marketing, I always actually listened to David Wood's call. He always had a call sometime. And ever since I found out that, and the Think and Grow Rich call, I always aligned with a lot of different internet marketers in their calls. And it was weekly, like their promotion or whatever, I jumped on. And that was kind of like my lifeblood to, I was like, every week I'm jumping on that Wednesday night. I don't care what. That was my promotion hour or whatever. And that so many of us in our companies have that same hook or millionaire mindset of the leaders that they gravitate toward. And I don't look at these inner circle audios as like a company call anymore. Some people do think that they're like a company call, but it's more of a training of mindset, and they're more of training than more than like a company call, because of the stories, like Ed says, and just everything he shared in today, that we just got a powerful relate to and do with other people, because there's a new guest that comes out that has their story, that has a shift in their marketing, and it's not like any other company call, because I've been on plenty of company calls that straight the same thing, promote their products, promote the thing, and it's the company call. And this is more mindset and their story, their shift, what happened, and that made them that success and had more of a value that we all can relate to.
Definitely.
Thanks, Ed.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much, Ed.
Thank you. I'm hopping off because I got to get ready. I got to hop onto the other call. Thank you so much. And yes, without I did not have that prior to this. Honestly,
Yeah.
I thought I did, but oh my goodness, to quantum leap other level. Other level is what's in there. Even though I had a lot of personal development stuff in the past, this is just it's in a world of its own. I will see you guys all on the call. Love you all.
I'll be there with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed. See you next week.
Thanks,
Bye,
lady.
Ed. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.